Welcome to the Land of House channel. I'm Seth. Today I'm installing these super thin LED can lights. They have a special feature as well. So here is the regular light, but if I turn this off for a second and back on, it will have a night light feature. So very cool. Let's get to work installing these can lights. These are the Roll-n-Lite 12 watt recessed LED can lights. They have 5 different temperature settings plus a night light option as well. So let's go ahead and open up the box and take a look at these. They sent me 6 of them to install here in my studio space, and so we will hopefully get to see what these look like. So let's take these out of the box real quick. Now, as you saw, I already have one of these installed, so there are only 5 left here in the box. There is an instruction manual for installation. There is a circle as a template, which you can use to drill out your hole, a little bit of protective foam, and then there are 6 of these recessed lights. Now you can see just how very thin these are. It's not much more than a 1/4 inch. So if you have a limited space to install them, these are definitely the ones for you. So here on the front of the light, you can see it is very stylish and smooth. On the back, there is a single cord for connecting to the power source, and then there are these spring-loaded clips on the side, and that's what's going to hold this up into your hole that you drill in the next step. And there's also a bit of foam to help make a good seal and also help prevent any bugs from getting down in these. So that portion of the light is very stylish. Now the LED nightlight feature is this ring here on the outside, and of course this is your main LED there on the front. It does have a diffusion plate on there, so it won't be too much glare in your face. The other part of these lights is where you're going to be installing the wiring. This little box right here has one power cord coming out, and that will be attached to that recessed can light. Here is a switch that allows you to change the color temperature. The settings are 2700K, 3000, 3500, 4000, and 5000. We will try out those different temperatures. Now you can mount this right here. There are some screw holes on the back. There are several knockouts to allow you to put your wiring into. And then in order to do the wiring, there is a little drawer that opens up here. This kit does come with some little push fittings. I call them Wago, but they may be an off-brand. And then you've got your white, black, and then a ground wire that you'll have to wire up. So we'll get to those here in just a moment. The hole size required to mount these is 6.1 inches. I have a 6 1/4 hole saw, which I have found to be sufficient to install these. To make the hole for this recessed light, I'm going to be using this massive 6 1/4 inch hole saw. If you don't have one of those, you could use a jigsaw. You would just take your template right here and you would trace around that, and then you'd be able to use your jigsaw to cut that hole out, and that is perfectly fine. But the hole saw will make a nice, crisp, clean circle around that. That's just an example. So I'm going to be using this hole right here to drill my hole. So this hole saw is really big and powerful, so I'm going to use both hands and start drilling through here. There we go. One hole now drilled through my surface. Now that I have the hole done, it's time to install this recessed light. There are clips right here that will hold on to the material that I've drilled into. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get that installed into the hole. I'm gonna go down here to the bottom of this, and I'm gonna simply pull back one of those clips, let it attach right there, pull the other one all the way up, and bring that into the hole. You can hear that it has quite a nice snap to it. I'm just going to center this, and there you go. That's as easy it is to install that right there. And now we have to get the box installed. I've got my wire right here, and I don't have any conduit, but I am going to be using one of these wire connectors to go into the box to help protect that cable. So I've got the power turned off to this wire. We'll go ahead and do a quick splice on here. Get that Romex off. Get the sheathing off of that. remove the paper. Now using my wire strippers, I'm going to remove about a 1/2 inch of that protective sheathing on this wire from both the black and the white wires. Okay, now in my little box here, I'm going to push out one of those knockouts, and that will give me access to the wires inside. So do that right there, and then I can take this wire connector and get that installed into this box to protect the wire. I have that wire connector right there. I'm going to stick the wires into the box now. Once I have that wire in the box, I can then use a screwdriver to tighten that down. Now it's a matter of using those included wire connectors. The black wire is going to go matching up with the black wire of the box here. Just press that little connector across the wire and then do the same on the wire that's coming in from the building. Likewise, the white wire gets a connector like that. And then lastly, the green wire is going to be connected to the bare copper wire coming in from the building. And all of those are complete. I can stuff these down into the box to get them out of the way and then allow this lid to close. Now that I have the wire in there, the last step is to connect the recessed can to this little box here. It does have a notch in the wire, so it only goes in one direction. Okay, this is wired up and ready to test out. This light switch will turn this can light on. And there we have it. It is now turned on. Now, this can be used with a dimmer switch. For example, I have a dimmer switch right here that I can adjust. There you go, the light is barely on at that point. And then if I turn it back up, you can see there. Now, these lights have a nightlight feature, which means they have a ring around the outside that turns an orange color. To turn that on, I'm going to turn this off for a second, back on for a second, and it will adjust this to the nightlight setting. If I want to get out of that, I just flip this off again and then back on for the regular light. So let's see that again. Off for a second, on for a second, and it is nightlight mode. And that also can be adjusted through the dimmer switch. So you can have just a very faint glow, or you can turn that up and have it much brighter. And then once again, to get out of that, turn it off, back on to the regular light mode. Now the temperature that you see currently is 5,000. Let's go ahead and adjust that by moving the switch here over a little bit to see what, okay. There is the 4,000, 3,500, 3,000, and 2,700. So depending on the color temperature of the light that you desire, you can adjust that. I personally like to have my lights more of the white light. For example, there's the 2,700 and here is the 5,000. I personally prefer to have the 5,000 because it's a wider light here for filming in my studio. So let's go ahead and change this color back over to the other one here. There we go. There's the white light. And that's the complete install of one of these Roland LED recessed can lights. This is a 6-pack, so I will get in here and continue to install these and have them lighting up my office space in here. A few things to note. These are 12 watt whenever they are fully bright on the large light, and 3 watt whenever they're fully bright on the night light here. And so you can do up to 150 watts on these. or you can do a maximum of 12 in a string, I do believe. So keep that in mind as you're wiring these up. Now they are dimmable, as you saw, so make sure that your dimmer switch is rated for LEDs and you'll be able to use that. I'm going to place a link for these lights in the description down below so you can check them out as well. They have anywhere from a single all the way up to, I think, a 16 pack. So you can definitely get lights in your room as you need. Now the little user manual has some good information, such as the spacing that you need to have in different rooms, such as 4 foot if it's in a bedroom or further out if it's in a garage. You can kind of judge your number of lights you need based on information like that. I'm Seth Johnson with Land to House, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.